Hi guys, Emily Sosha from emilysosha.com, and I am back again this week to talk more about stress. So if you watched the videos from last week, which if you didn't, they're below this one, but if you watched the videos from last week, I talked all about what stress is and the different ways that we experience stress. And then in the second video, how to handle stress and really what to do about it, because that's the juicy stuff, right? The biggest takeaway that I found from the second video was that doing the things to help deal with stress or handle with stress are awesome, but that if you're not, in addition, also trying to process the stress or the situation around the stress or your feelings in addition to the stressful feelings, that it can kind of feel like you're swimming upstream, right? And you'll oftentimes end up, and I know because I've been there, trying to sit in meditation, squeezing your eyes shut, just kind of willing yourself to feel patient or relief or whatever you hope to get away from those stressful feelings. So in today's video, I wanted to piggyback on that same idea in that those techniques, walking, journaling, meditating, exercising, talking out with a friend, all that, that's amazing. That stuff is awesome. But if you're not processing it, then it can kind of keep coming back up, oftentimes bigger, the feeling's bigger than when the very first instance, or just that you feel like you're kind of always walking around stressed and you can't really pinpoint it, but you just always feel that nasty, like overwhelming, anxious, maybe angry type of feeling. And no one wants to walk around like that. So today I want to talk about another way to help you process stress that can be super powerful. So before I go any further, I want to come back to the idea that I mentioned in one of the videos, that everything is happening right on time. Everything is happening just as it needs to. Everything is happening for a greater potential or a greater purpose, you might even say, right? And so, as I mentioned in that video, I am a firm believer that that is absolutely 100% true. And so I want to take that idea and expand it into, what if we could put stress in that same category? And then with that idea, does stress not become actually our friend and maybe even our ally or our kind of partner in whatever situation you happen to be going through? And really, instead of looking at it as that now this stress is happening to me, or that I'm experiencing this stress because I have this situation or whatever's happening, this relationship or a miscommunication or whatever it may be, right? It could be anything. It could be as simple as you were at a light and the guy in front of you didn't go when the light turned green, right? Sometimes when we're feeling super overwhelmed, that feels super stressful, even though obviously in the grand scheme of things, that is such a small little speck in the road. So if we go back to that idea that stress is our friend and is really working to help us because everything is happening for us, for that greater lesson, for that greater reason, for that greater potential, and that stress is in that same category, then is stress not happening for you? And then with that, what can you take away from it, right? So instead of stress being in addition to, let it be the catalyst for action. And so you could almost even rename it as like stress actually equals catalyst for change, for action. And then you can know that when you start to feel stressful, whatever stress looks and feels like for you, that it's actually your time to make a change. Right? So take, for instance, the example of the guy not going at the green light, right? You're sitting there, it's already a busy day, you want to get home, and you're at a light, and the light turns green, and the guy doesn't go. And so there's a million different responses, right? And if you feel yourself getting all overwhelmed and heated and like you want to jump out of the car and go tell him to go, right? That let that be your trigger for being like, whoa, I gotta chill out, right? And then maybe backtracking, what else happened today or this week? Or maybe there was a phone call that got you more emotional or more worked up than you thought that you were going to feel. Maybe there was something that happened at work that you just kind of brushed under and said, it's okay, whatever, my boss was busy, or my coworker said this, and it didn't matter, he was just trying to get the project out, right? And maybe it affected you more than you thought it did. And so that stress signal, that sign sitting at the light when the guy in front of you doesn't go, because it was so big, now that's your symbol, your reason to kind of check in with yourself. And so that takes off that enormous amount of pressure. So I gave the example in the previous video last week of that when the stress can build, it can often feel like we are blowing up a balloon and kind of blowing up that balloon to capacity so that it eventually feels like at any moment it's just about to pop. But when you can realize that it's just feedback, it's just your friend telling you, whoa, that's a big response. What else is going on? Are you okay? What's up, right? And when you can look at it like that, then it starts to let the air back out. And so I would encourage you to rename the stress and let it be that friend so that you are no longer being stressed about being stressed, right? I know I have for sure done that in the past. It's like you have a response to something, take the light, right? Sitting at the light, you blow up, maybe you gesture or shout some things right in the rear view mirror or, out in front so that the person can see you. And then, you finally go and you think to yourself like, oh my God, what did I just do? Why did I respond like that? Like that's crazy. And then you feel stressed about your stress response, right? And then that just adds, and then who knows where that goes. Usually things like that snowball and snowball instead of catching them. So that is my message for you today, is to rename stress and let it be a friendly little bell or a friend or your ally saying, whoa, something's going on here. We got to check in. We got to figure something out. And this is, of course, giving me an idea on a new video to what are those responses? How else can I respond when I feel stressed and all I want to do is maybe use some hand gestures in the mirror for the guy not going at the light? But I don't really want to do that. So what else can I do? So maybe there'll be a new video coming out on that. But yeah, so that's my message, is in that idea of that everything is happening for us, for greater potential, for a greater lesson, for a greater reason, and that things are happening because we need to evolve, grow, change, take action. And stress is just another one of those triggers. Instead of stress being something that you're trying to avoid, let stress be the thing that lets you work through it so you can process it and then move forward free of that external weight, or sometimes it's internal, right? That emotional weight that just doesn't feel good. So that's all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Like I said, I'm getting new ideas even as I talk. So I will probably be back on this week, if not next week. If you have any questions at all, definitely leave them in the comments below. I will check back regularly, or shoot me a PM if you prefer that way. But I love doing these videos. I hope you guys are getting something out of them, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.